come we can't investigate like a bird?
I don't think you're on the right one, babe.
How come we can't investigate like a Burger King?
This is the only thing that has some rust. That's his Wi-Fi. I am updating.
That ain't the right one. I can see mine on here. You might have to exit all the way out.
YouTube. So which one am I clicking on?
Which one are you clicking?
History. Downloadable. Huh. Where'd it go?
How does it sound?
What?
I said, how does it sound?
Sounds like I'm in a whisper.
I didn't even really say anything yet. It still sounds like a whisper.
Yes. Just yell. That's all I can tell you to do.
How I can hear myself in the
Just because
headphones. I
we
don't
can hear
understand.
you, it sounds low. Like my volume's all the way up. I can barely hear you.
That is so freaking weird, man.
I don't know why.
Sometimes I hate technology, honestly.
See that little rant? I heard a whisper of it. You're just gonna have to speak up, Viv.
I'm right here all the way on the mic.
I don't know. Eat the mic. I don't know what to tell you. Can you even out the desktop audio?
I got the desktop audio all the way down low.
Soul talk.
That is so freaking crazy.
We're gonna have to play with it another time, but just for now, speak up, like way up.
It's the mic device. Your webcam's frozen again. There you go. All right, I guess we'll try it like this. We'll see what happens. I can hear myself loud and clear in my headphones, but for some reason it's still not coming through the stream loud. It's very confusing. And sitting here and using the two different mics, I really don't understand. Maybe if I open volume control, let's see. there two Skype meters? That's weird. Okay. All right, so you ready? You ready, Saul? All right, he can't hear me now. What did I change? Oh my gosh. You ready, Saul? All right, I'm gonna have to try to call Soul back. I don't know what happened. I guess it's that extra desktop audio, maybe? I'm not sure, people. Get all this extra stuff down. All right.
It's good. Take two.
Yeah, hopefully I got everything straight. Um, how does it sound now, Lady Akane?
It sounds pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. As long as I'm not quiet like in another stream, I guess I'm just gonna have to yell into the microphone.
Yeah, you probably just might have to yell.
All right, where do we leave off?
All right, we left off New Japan.
New Japan. I think the last thing we were talking about was
The Bullet Club breaking up.
Bullet Club breaking up and having an NWS
Top
type
10 anime
split, possibly.
betrayals of all time.
Um, so, like we said, our thoughts on it, they're going to split right down the middle. If anybody watches their actual YouTube show, Being the Elite, you would kind of get some like behind the scenes type footage of things that are
I
going on.
may or may not be subscribed to them. I don't know. I have to check.
Yeah. To me, it's like since New Japan really doesn't carry out angles and do the entertainment portion of things on TV
No.
or on pay-per-view or whatever, it's like they're providing you with that if you watch Being the Elite. They have a lot
Yeah.
of goofy and crazy and funny stuff on there too as well, but at the same time, it's
Which is
it
very
gives you that
interesting
angle.
because it ended with Kenny and
what's his name, kind of uh, entering into the Young Bucks hotel room.
Yeah.
So
So possibly we may see a Golden Lovers reunion along with the Young Bucks and forming some maybe new group or maybe just another form of the Bullet Club.
you know who the one person out of all of New Japan who's probably loving every minute of this?
Who's that?
Okada. Okada's probably loving all this. Like, I made a faction to compete against the Bullet Club, and I haven't done anything yet.
Right? Just have to sit back and just continue to defend his title.
I know.
Who is the next challenger anyway?
I don't know, because you know Kenny's going to go back to challenge Jay White for a rematch for his title.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. I think Okada's fought in everybody. Like, everyone you think that you could automatically come to mind, Okada's pretty much already beaten.
Yeah, he's pretty much beaten half the roster.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do a number one contenders match between Naito and Chris Jericho, and maybe Chris Jericho will be the next challenger.
No, I see the Naito versus Jericho feud being kind of its own thing. That's why I'm like, I really don't know who they're going to throw at Okada. Maybe Takahashi?
Maybe.
You know? Because, like, he's the only one who I could... Because, like, New Japan kind of has this problem that I think WWE kind of suffers from, and I know comparing that, people are going to immediately lose their shit, in that WWE and New Japan really suffer from mid-card hell. Like, they have a lot of people in mid-card, so it's kind of trying to pick somebody from that mid-card who you could justify throwing against Okada, just to throw him back down to mid-card.
You're right. They do.
Yeah.
And since they have so many titles with the six-man and the Intercontinental and the U.S. and they defend like the never open weight and all that stuff, it's like so many titles, and it's just like it's kind of like jumbled. I mean, it's all good wrestling, don't get me wrong.
It's great wrestling. It's just, well, okay, that didn't stick at the wall. Let's throw this.
Right. But that's New Japan for the month of January, pretty much.
See them again in 3 months.
Everybody already knows what what happened at Wrestle Kingdom and everything. Ring of Honor really hasn't stood out to me. I see they got a I don't know if it's a pay-per-view or if it's just a special event or what, but it's coming up in North Carolina on Saturday, February 8th. It's headlined by, hold on, let me pull it up really quick. It's headlined by the Bullet Club with Cody, Marty, and Adam Page versus the Kingdom.
Okay.
Since I know that Matt Taven is trying to work his way into the championship picture. But the champion, Dalton Castle, is actually facing it's a 6-man tag match against SoCal Uncensored, which is Christopher Daniels, Kaz, and Scorpio Sky. Which I've never seen the boys wrestle, so I don't know anything about the boys. Like, talk about
Ring of Honor is like that one brand I know nothing about.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into it myself more, just to expand from past WWE. But I hear you. I understand.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really know, so don't like, who do you guys have to win?
Right. I don't know either. But let's get to WWE.
Okay. Takeover first.
Takeover was awesome, just like every NXT event. I've seen somebody say a comment. There's never been a bad takeover, in my opinion. It really hasn't. I can't even think of one that did not deliver.
No, I think that's right. I can think of matches that didn't deliver.
Because even with this card probably was one of the lesser stacked type cards from the pad that we would see, like, you know, more in the past. But even this one even delivered and made you want to watch it.
There wasn't a. I think the lowest tier of a match was probably 3.5 stars.
Yeah.
You know.
And they don't have to have 8, 9, 10 matches on a card to put together a great show. That's one thing that I can appreciate about it. This only had,
Nope.
what, 5? Maybe 4 or 5? I think it was 5.
Opened with the tag matches, Cassius versus Velveteen Dream, Street Fight, the title fight with Gargano, and then was the women's championship defended?
Yeah.
Then yeah, 5.
We can break it down. First match on the card was Cassius Ohno versus Velveteen Dream. What were your thoughts on it?
I'm liking Velveteen Dream more and more.
I feel like that's a natural consensus with everybody.
Cassius Ohno was really good.
He's good. The only problem I have is his look right now.
The look's unique.
It's unique, but at the same time, I'm surprised, honestly. Like, with WWE's certain look requirements, weight requirements, or whatever, you know, the case may be, especially being somebody that came from somebody that was actually built and stuff, and, you know, had like the features and everything. I'm surprised that they didn't make him get back in shape before he came back to WWE.
True.
Because a lot of his matches, for me, they kind of like drag a little bit, because I guess that's just stamina and wind now that he gained weight. In the beginning, the match, I mean, how they had the whole S, because Velveteen said that he would knock him out in 10 seconds, and then the crowd started
30 seconds.
30
Which
seconds.
I liked that touch.
Yeah. And how they did their little exchange at the beginning, and then like in the middle, it kind of started boring me because it started getting like dragged on, and then it picked up again back at the end of the match.
I give them credit. They made a feud with pretty much no build up.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah, because like they had like I think a week or two of build up, and they made a feud out of it.
Yeah. Next was, I think it was the tag team match. I think the tag team match was next with the Undisputed Era versus AOP.
This was really good.
Yeah. I like the fact that they don't sit here and let AOP dominate like all their smaller competitors, since they're the biggest ones in NXT. They'll take any like regular moves just as much as anybody else would.
That's my fear of them going to the main roster.
True.
Is because they're big and they're built, they'll just dominate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be a totally different story when they get up there. The real question is what brand they're going to go to. Because I don't know.
SmackDown needs tag teams.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, it was overall a great match. With I think it was it Kyle O'Reilly, or I think it was Kyle O'Reilly getting the roll up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, it was O'Reilly getting the roll up because I think they knocked Killian Dane out of the ring.
He did. I think he did a suicide dive.
Yeah.
I almost forgot Sanity had came down to the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I think it was the women's match with Ember Moon against Shayna Baszler.
I'm liking Shayna Baszler.
I like Shayna Baszler too, man. She's that perfect type of heel-esque character. I know I saw a comment, somebody said that she could be the female Brock Lesnar in this case.
They were chanting Goldberg.
Go.
Like of the shot of her walking from the back to the ring. If you, I was watching a video of someone uploaded of all the chants, and they were chanting Goldberg as she was walking from the back to the front.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have been chanting Goldberg or anything like that. It was just like an MMA type entrance, and I'm glad that they gave her that.
I was too. My whole question is, do you think she's really Amber Moon's really hurt? Of
Um,
the way that she
that move
did the
was vicious. I know that.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I know she did a great job of selling it,
Oh God, yes.
but I don't know if she's hurt like per se or not. What they probably will end up doing if they're really going to use this injury angle big, if Shayna Baszler can somehow get another opportunity at her, she'll probably end up winning the belt due to injury, due to like referee stoppage or something like that.
They'll probably fight again, and it'll probably be like a last man standing or like a street fight, something to where it's not a normal match.
Yeah.
You know.
After that was
Cole
street
versus.
fight. Oh my gosh. There's so much stuff to talk about in there. We're gonna keep it kind of short.
That was my match of the night.
Yeah, that was my match of the night too. My gosh.
The best spot was, well, one of the best spots was early on when Adam Cole went to go grab the chair, and he's about to hit Aleister Black, but he just drops it and powders out. So instead of doing like the springboard back into the sitting, he just grabs the chair and just sits in the middle of the ring.
Yeah. So many spots in this match. Even the moonsault with the kendo stick.
That
Oh
was
gosh,
brutal.
it was so vicious. But the most vicious spot of the night, everybody knows, is when he took that.
The chair bump.
Oh my god! How is he?
I thought he
up
really did
walking,
hurt himself
bro?
there.
Oh my gosh!
I thought Cole really did hurt himself there.
That was so vicious.
And like it was great because like the rest of Undisputed Era comes out, and then Sanity comes out, and then he does the double, I think, knees onto the table, which breaks it. Or no, I think he does the black mass onto the table. Oh my God. Such a good fight.
Yeah, it was. Then the final match was Gargano versus Cien Almas for NXT
Title.
Championship.
This is what everyone is considering match of the year so far.
I don't necessarily. I mean, like I said, to me, I feel like the two last matches could be match of the year candidates. And I say it because usually when you have a match that steals the show, the match following it gets crapped all over by the fans because they're exhausted. But they kept
that energy up.
They kept that energy up from bell to bell.
Because there were so many times where I legitimately thought Gargano had it.
Yeah. And so many times that you just thought that the match would be over for almost at the same time. They told a huge story in the match. Even with the interference, overall it was just an awesome match.
My favorite spot out of the entire wasn't from an actual match, but after like the 6th or 7th time the fans started chanting Johnny Wrestling, Mauro Ranallo cues in on commentary and he goes, "The fans chanting, 'This is wrestling,'" and I'm like, no, they're not. Those things don't even sound remotely alike. Like, I expect that from Percy or Nigel. I don't expect that from you, Mauro.
Right. And I know a couple of people had complained though that they said that they felt like Mauro was too much into the match. And I'm like, I want to be entertained. Watching wrestling is one thing, but if we see a product on TV. I want the commentators to be into it. I want the crowd to be into it at the same time.
You can't gripe the Morrow being too into it when there was an incident at the very end where they thought Gargano legitimately had him, and he kicked out at like 2 and 4 ace, and Percy Watson goes, "Oh man," you know. So it's like you can't gripe about Morrow doing that when Percy is clearly cheerleading on the side.
Exactly. He's supposed to
You
be
know.
not. I don't know.
And then the very end, where it looks like Johnny's getting helped up, people are suspecting if he was leaving. Um, Ciampa comes out and just hits him in the back.
It's just another case of now NXT trolling us once again, thinking that the show is over. They put the little trademark in the corner and like, oh, it's over. And then next thing you know, Ciampa once again comes out of the blue and just knocks the crap
Somewhere
out of him.
Vince McMahon is looking at this like, I want to do that.
Oh man, it's so crazy.
But so now the question is, because that just got everybody more hyped up, if Ciampa is 100% medically clear, will he be ready by New Orleans by WrestleMania time for the next takeover?
It all depends. Like I told you earlier, he had that little limp still going with him, so I don't know how far they can drag this out, man. The reason they probably brought him out in the first place was just to remind people that, hey, this feud is still going to happen. It's just like, when is it going to happen?
I think that crutch also busted open Gargano,
Yeah, I think it did too.
because you can barely hear, but as they were cutting to black with when his wife was on the back and like they were getting the medic out, you can hear her kind of say the camera picked it up. It's like, I need you to lay still. You're busted open. You know. So
All I know is that it's going to be a huge emotional feud, and it's going to take wrestling fans through a lot, just because of how much DIY was over with the crowd. And it's just like now you're just watching like two best friends that are just about to beat the heck out of each
that I
other.
think is going to be match of the year.
I do.
If
I
it
think it will
happens.
too. Yeah, I do.
Here's my question: with Ciampa out, who do you think is gonna fight Aldrete Sionamas for I can never fucking pronounce his name. Aldrete Sionamas for the title.
It has to be Aleister Black. I don't see anybody else, man.
My question is, do you think if that's the case, they'll break Black's winning streak?
Well, honestly, if you want to get technical with it, his winning streak is already broken because
This is WWE. We're not going to get technical with it. They still think Asuka has the longest reigning NXT Women's Championship, and she's still undefeated, even though if you count tag matches, she's not.
Right. I don't know, honestly, because I don't know how much they're behind Almas right now. And we talked about this previously before. I feel like they just during the Drew McIntyre match, since he got hurt, I feel like they just made a last second call and put the belt on Almas so that they didn't have to like have him come out and relinquish the title and all this other type of crap. So I don't know
think
how
they're slowly getting
are.
behind him because he lasted 30 minutes in the Rumble. That was after like a almost 30-minute match with Gargano. You can slowly see that fans are slowly starting to jump on the Sialmas train.
Yeah.
You know, his heel work is really improving since they kind of stuck him with a manager.
Yeah.
He's not Black level. Okay.
Oh no.
No.
Aleister Black is the most popular wrestler in NXT right now.
Oh God, yes.
Next to Velveteen is almost up there, man. He's getting there, big time.
And honestly, what started with the whole reason Velveteen got up there was because of his match with Black.
Exactly.
Because no one gave a shit about Dream until he pretty much started a feud with Black, and everyone was like, well, hold on, wait a minute. You know, wait a minute. This might be going somewhere. By George, I think we have something. but it'd be two heels facing each other. Or are they trying to turn Black babyface? Because you can't say Sialmas is the babyface. Sialmas is definitely the heel.
Definitely the heel.
Okay. Adam Cole was definitely the heel, but at no point in that match did you ever feel like Aleister Black was the babyface.
Why not?
So, because they haven't really built Black as a babyface.
He's kind of in a neutral position, but the crowd
Yeah.
loves him.
Yeah. Like he's so over with the crowd, is he can kind of do. He doesn't need to cheat because he's so good.
Right.
It's kind of how it was with Joe. Like Joe was good as a heel, but he didn't really need to be a heel. You know?
Right.
Like the same with Rollins. Rollins is so good. Yes, he works good as a heel. He doesn't need to be a heel to still be as good as he is.
Right.
You know? That's kind of how it is with Black. Is you could put Black as a heel, but he's so good he doesn't really need to be.
You're right. Well,
And
next thing was the
Rumble.
Royal Rumble. The only
Started-
thing good being the Royal Rumble.
I
itself.
hate Kaney over so bad. Started off with the Styles handicap match.
Yeah, I had quickly lost interest in the match, honestly.
I do too, because you knew Styles wasn't going to win. There was going to be some side of shenanigans on why he couldn't win. On why Owens and Zayn didn't win, and because the ref didn't see the tag. You know.
Yeah. Just to speak on the whole show in its entirety, I feel like it was horrible match placement.
Oh God, yes.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I appreciate the fact that they wanted to put the women's rumble at the end, but at the end result, that's the reason why I'm hating it at the same time. But we'll get to that in a second. The next match on was the tag team match with the Usos, right? 2 out of 3 falls with.
You mean the bathroom break match?
Bathroom break match, yeah.
I feel
Usos
bad for
versus-
Benjables because now it's like, or American Beta, or whatever the hell you want to call them.
I like Benjables. Yeah, man. With it being a 2 out of 3 falls match, I don't understand how it was not entertaining at all. It really wasn't, though. And then the 2 falls came within like glimpses of each other at the same time. Like bad booking.
It was really bad. And now it's kind of like, well, okay, who are the Usos going to fight now?
Exactly. They've beaten everybody.
Because like SmackDown brought up the fact that, well, it could be the Bludgeon Brothers, but it's like they're not over enough to where you can really put them against someone. That's why I'm like, I hate to say it, but you kind of do need to bring up a tag team from NXT on SmackDown because you've kind of beaten everybody.
You really do. I see them giving the Bludgeon Brothers the shot, though. But
Yeah, they'll give them a shot, but like obviously they're not going to win.
I don't feel like
So
they're
it's
gonna win
like,
either.
okay,
I don't feel like they're going to win either. And like you just said, they're not over at all.
no,
Like, we've seen every incarnation of Harper and Rowan that we can, and they just can't get them over together. Harper
No.
started building some steam as a singles competitor, and then they just like, nah, it's not going to work out for you. Rowan has never been over,
no.
so I don't understand. But then you had what, the Rumble? The Rumble itself was next. Fantastic, a bunch of returns.
Started off with Rusev and Balor, which I knew as soon as I saw Balor number 2, I'm like, yeah, he ain't winning. As soon as I saw Balor come in at number 2, I'm like, yeah, okay, Balor's not winning.
Yeah,
He'll last, but he's not winning.
yeah. That's all. That's the only thing I was figuring. I knew neither one of them were going to win. I was just going to figure out who was actually going to be the Iron Man. And
which was
Rusev is,
Balor.
yeah, Rusev is so over right now that as soon as he got thrown out, everybody just booed, and it's just like whatever.
Which is fine because they gave him on SmackDown. They gave him a title shot against Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
So
whether
we
he'll
said
win, I have no idea.
the first shock was almost right. I think
Yeah,
almost was the first shock.
almost a shock. Um, Actually, no. The first kind of shock slash laugh was when Corbin got eliminated and just went rampage.
Yeah, and took out everybody.
It took everybody and gave it with probably the highlight of the entire match was when Heath Slater came out. He just clotheslined the shit out of him. And like the running gag was like as each person came out, they kept taking out Slater.
Yeah. That was funny. That was hilarious.
You know, Elias Sampson came out and everybody's educated. He's walking down. He kicks Slater down, playing the guitar. Almost comes down. He kicks Slater again.
Big E stuffs pancakes in his mouth.
Big E stuff. Wyatt just does, I think, Sister Abigail to him. Finally, Sheamus bricks him in only to get eliminated.
Eliminated right by him. Crazy. On his birthday. At least he got the titles.
He got the title. He's fine.
Um,
Sheamus was not going to win.
no, not at all. Not at all. Rollins stuck in there a long time too.
But the big surprise out of all of that was when Reigns eliminated Rollins.
Yeah. Then they had that little smile exchange as far as, oh, you got me, big man.
Yeah.
They dug up, got doggone Hurricane Helms from God knows where.
I don't know. No, that wasn't the best part. The best part was when Cena came in at 20 and then ran down and then immediately got jumped by everybody.
I was like, why didn't you?
I'm like,
throw
you
him over the
stupid.
rope?"
You should have figured that was going to happen.
Everybody just stopped and just stared at him. He's just looking like, guys.
Come on, guys. Come on. I'm going to win this. Let's go.
Oh man. And he tried to. Hurricane Helms tried to choke slam Cena. That was funny too.
That was hilarious. Kofi. The freaking human highlight reel of the damn Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they're running out of stuff to do for Kofi.
They are. They're running out of stuff to do. I'm still not. I don't care how hard they try. They will never, in my eyes, get pancakes over.
No, they're not.
You know, because the whole thing about pancakes is you can tell it's some kind of like backstage insider joke that like, they all get, and it's super freaking hilarious.
Right.
You know, but we as the audience don't know the joke. So when you're trying to get like pancakes and oh, it's a pancake party, why? You know, oh, it's because it's pancakes. So, like, there's a backstage inside joke that, like, I really want to know the reason behind.
Right.
You know, or like, did like Xavier Woods and Big E have a bet that like the loser would try to get like a random object over with the crowd, and they just happen to pick pancakes?
Maybe.
You know.
Who knows? Pop of the night definitely went to Rey Mysterio's return.
Yeah.
Like, I even jumped out of my seat for that one.
Oh yeah. I lost my shit with that.
Yeah. The thing that I hate what Michael Cole and them did was that Rey still looks good. He's still in shape. I'm like, the guy still wrestles elsewhere, but of course, according to Vince McMahon, there is no other wrestling company besides WWE.
Well, no. They can mention the indies. They just can't mention what kind of indies, you know?
So
like they can mention like hottest free agent or wrestling on the independent scene. They just can't mention it by name.
Right.
You know?
It's just so stupid to me.
That's the thing. And from what I've been reading about Rey is they haven't fully done a contract with him because Rey only wants to work part-time. Like, he doesn't want to do the whole full-time thing. So they're still in talks with both him and Rey, like his manager and Rey, together about how they want to create a contract for him.
Which I don't understand why they just don't do it. The man has earned it. He's a legend.
God,
But
I
you
guess
know what
because
they
they
want
want
to
to
do. They
still
want
do.
to.
I guess because they still want him to do a full schedule.
Yeah, they want him to work the craziest schedule that there is, which I heard is working on 205 Live, working in the cruiserweight division.
No, Rey Mysterio. He's a former fucking heavyweight and world heavyweight champion. The man does not deserve to be on the goddamn cruiserweights. That, in my opinion, should just be dissolved.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like, there's no point for the cruiserweight champion anymore.
But like I was saying, they have to be the hardest workers because I heard, and we're not going to turn this into anything. We're not going to get to the wrestling politics, anything but anything. But I heard Enzo doing a interview on Neville saying that the guy works way too hard, saying that Neville had to be, and when you start to really think about it, he has to be there. And when he was the champion, he had to be there Monday. He had to be there at a different city Tuesday for the 205 Live.
Yeah.
I think Thursdays for like house show, Thursdays and Fridays for house shows, and then it was like another house show or something on Saturday. So he had to constantly travel 24/7 with that championship.
Oh yeah, I know. With that championship, which either get rid of the cruiserweight part on Raw, get rid of 205 Live, because let's be honest, no one's watching 205 Live, even with the announcement of Rockstar Spud as the general manager.
Right.
Okay? No one's really watching 205 Live. So either just have it to where like a whole hour-long section of your 3-hour Raw is dedicated to the cruiserweights.
Yeah.
You know?
They actually put on a pretty decent match. It was before the Rumble. I think it was the 205 Live before the Rumble between Cedric Alexander and what's his name?
I think it was a 3-way.
No, it was a one-on-one match.
Okay.
Dang, what is his name?
Because the one I remember it was Gentleman Jack, Alexander, Kalisto, and
Mustafa Ali.
Cedric Ali. This is like Gentleman Jack, Drew Gulak, and I think Daivari. Because there was a funny ass highlight spot of Jack goes up for a middle rope, and he starts arguing with like Mustafa. He starts arguing with his team. It's like, don't do a flying. I'm going to do a flying. Don't do a flying. I'm going to do a flying. And he just whiffs it.
Yeah, that was on Raw, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It was either on Raw or it was a pre-match.
It might have been on. No, it was on the Rumble pre-show. As a matter of
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I was talking about. Then I guess that the two bigger shockers, I guess, also from the Rumble, men's Rumble, was Adam Cole. I popped for that.
Which I don't even know. That had to be like somebody couldn't go, somebody couldn't make it, and they threw him out there because he came out there visibly in pain, bandaged all up. That was crazy.
Yeah. And then Ziggler for number 30. Why?
Especially with him going out that fast too at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I think the problem was they didn't know who to throw in at number 30 because they couldn't throw Roman in. Philly would have rioted if they threw Roman in at number 30. Okay. So like we need somebody for number 30, and number 30 for the women is they already had Trish Stratus, so they were like, we got 30 locked down for the women. We can't throw Roman because that was everyone's fear. Was like as the numbers kept clocking down and Roman hadn't showed up, it was kind of, oh God, when is Roman going to show up? Oh, phew, God, he's 28. Okay.
Right. I don't know.
They made that mistake once of making Roman 30, and the crowd almost rioted.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining the stream from Pillar to Post. But for some reason, man, the Skype situation with me right now is just doesn't work out. This is the third little podcast that me and Soul have done, and I still have not managed to fix it and to get it right. For some reason, I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm like all the way up on the mic, so I don't
There's
know,
a
man.
rabbit ear cable antenna just sticking off to the side, trying to get it. You're trying to get reception.
Right? It's very weird. Um, all help is appreciated though, because I know you got your little podcast that you do. Um, so if you know anything that I don't know, I would definitely could use your help.
And then I guess kind of just wrapping this down because all we got left is just the Nakamura won, which I'm so happy. I got scared at the end of the match
too, bro. I was all the way on the edge of my seat. I had butterflies in my stomach and everything.
I'm like, you better not do this. You better not. I will terminate my service, turn off this show, and never watch you again.
Exactly.
Not watch you back to WrestleMania. If you
gosh.
do this.
Oh man, but I'm so happy that they did Nakamura. I don't like the fact that they had to interview the man right after. Who are you gonna pick? I'm like, come on.
He's gonna pick Brock Lesnar. Of course, he's gonna pick Styles.
Exactly. But
then, speaking of Lesnar, in the what I like to consider the car crash of the Rumble.
Pretty much. It was lined up the same way that the Fatal 5-Way was, or the Fatal 4-Way, whatever it was. That Braun pretty much dominated until Lesnar got an opportunity.
Kane just disappeared for a while.
Kane disappeared and was ultimately the one, of course, that we all knew was going to take the fall.
Braun and Brock just pretty much destroyed everything. And then, yeah, Kane just took the fall. It was like, okay, whatever. Next.
From Pillar to Post says he's happy for Nakamura. Question is, do they give he and AJ enough time? They got to give him at least 30 minutes, and I bet they are the first match on the Mania card.
I don't think they'll be first match. I'll be going to be pissed if they're going to be first match. But yeah, no, you got to get. That's a dream match. That you can't just rush that. That's a match everybody's been wanting since both Styles and Nakamura showed up. Was the two of them to fight?
Exactly.
Okay.
And
that's either mid card or at the very end. That's not opening the show.
They may do a back-to-back championship match because they did that last year too, as well, I believe.
Yeah, because they closed the show with Reigns versus Taker.
Yeah. But it was like the three. They actually did it like the three main events. Like in traditional wrestling, that's how they would do it. But if they had a three main event match, they would put them on back to back to back. They actually kind of did it like that last year. So I wonder if they'll do it like that again this year.
But it's not going to be a 10, 15-minute match. Hell no.
Nah, they can't do that.
They can't. This is the reason people are going to go to WrestleMania is to see Styles Nakamura.
Yeah.
You know, that's the top card for everybody. Especially now that we know that it's going to be Reigns versus Lesnar for the Universal Champion. Nah, dude, screw that title shot. Give us the one we actually care about. Because honestly, both guys are so over, you could see it going either way.
I agree with you from pillar to post. Definitely that Vince. He said we can't think of from a fan's point of view, which he's right, because Vince will do what Vince wants to do, and usually in the past, definitely the lesser brand show, their title would always go on first.
Yeah.
You go back to think of it, even back with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan with that 15, 16-second massacre. That was on first. and there have been a couple of others that have been on first at the same time. So it's just like
Styles versus Shane last year is one of the first matches.
yeah.
The women's
As you see, we completely skipped over Rollins and Jordan in the bar because do you care? I know I don't.
Oh wow, they gave the Bar the title back. I wonder for how long they'll have it. You know? My whole thing is I'm just waiting. I'm just counting down for them to turn Jason Jordan heel.
Yeah, believe that's
It's
what
like I thought it was going to happen on that Raw when they were being he was being on Raw 25 when he was being interviewed by Christian, and oh, the boos were great. The boos were so great.
They were awesome, along with his reaction to him.
Yeah.
It's coming. Most definitely, it's coming.
Oh, it's definitely coming.
It's just
because no one's buying the fact
I can see why they did it the way they did the match. It's like the build up to it, because everybody can see it on the horizon, but they just have to tell the story of why.
Yeah. Because no one's buying the whole Kurt Angle thing. Nobody. Even Kurt Angle is openly kind of, he hasn't openly admitted, but he's kind of admitted, yeah, I know it's stupid.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going with it, okay? I have a chance to WrestleMania be in the match, okay? I'm going to go with this shit. Okay, I'm too busy yelling at Braun Strowman about, okay, don't flip this over today.
Don't destroy this. Oh, man. But the next...
The Women's Rumble.
Women's Rumble.
What do you think? Okay,
I'm going to be honest.
In your opinion, what was better, the Women's Rumble or the Men's Rumble?
The Men's Rumble.
Okay.
You have a difference of opinion?
I think they were equal.
Okay.
I don't think one was better than the other. Okay. I think the problem with the Women's Rumble was it relied too heavily on callbacks. You know?
Pillar to Post, appreciate you following us on Twitch. Appreciate it. Very much so. Thank you.
The thing with the Women's Rumble was, yes, it relied too heavily on callbacks. As the Men's Rumble was, besides a few good spots and returns, there really wasn't like any odds-on favorite. And besides the ending of the Men's Rumble had everybody out of their chairs. Mm-hmm. Because we didn't, and nobody wanted either Cena or Reigns to win. The Women's Rumble, if you looked at the final two, it was Asuka and I think it was Brie Bella. One person who didn't need the win, the other person who's not even fully with the company.
And I didn't even want to see the Bella Twins return, period.
No.
I've never been a fan of the Bella Twins. Never.
The only reason I think Brie is over so much is because she's married to Daniel Bryan. Cool. You do you. That's all you. Everybody loves Bryan. Mm-hmm. Okay. People are starting to hate Nikki because she's starting to have the John Cena effect.
Yeah.
You know? And like they were good together when they were like originally when they were wrestlers. I wasn't a fan of them, but I can at least say, okay, they were good wrestlers, you know? But it would be one thing if the last two were like on Monday, Sasha and Asuka, right. Okay? Because that would have put faith. Look at the final two. It was Asuka, who we know did not need the win, and Brie, who's not even fully with the company.
Right.
So it's like, what the fuck was the point? You know?
What? All right, I got two questions.
Okay.
The first one, I just had it, and it kind of slipped out of mind because I thought about the second one, so I'll just ask the second one first. What do you think of a Trish Stratus versus Sasha Banks WrestleMania match?
I like it. I do, because I want to see Trish come back. I like Trish. She's still in good. She's obviously still in good standings with the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like that. I do like the fact that Michelle McCool holds the record for the most women eliminated from the Rumble.
Philly the Post says, was it just him, or did the legends in the women's rumble seem to be more over than the current roster?
No, it wasn't just you. That was true.
Yeah, it was.
There was like only 3 people from the current roster who was kind of over. Asuka, because it's Asuka. Um, Sasha Banks. And I think that was kind of it. Maybe Natalia.
I think they popped for Becky a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah, and they popped for Becky. They didn't pop for Bayley, which surprised me. Yeah. They popped for Becky, but yeah, Lita coming out at 5, pretty much. Scary moonsault.
Oh yeah, I was. Oh man, especially the way she came down. But not only that, just because of her neck injuries.
Just because of her neck injury, and because of the fact that even in her prime, she wasn't really good with the moonsault.
Yeah, she didn't really get all the way over.
No, so that was. Then when Michelle came out, like I said, pretty much just eliminating everybody. So she holds the record for the most women eliminated. Uh, I wish they did something more with Nia. I wish they did something more with Tamina. There's no reason why they shouldn't have. They're the 2 monsters, and you barely ever felt like they were monsters. Because the biggest problem with, and this is kind of the thing that's been circling around on the internet, the biggest problem with the Women's Rumble was you didn't know who was in. You didn't know who was in, who was eliminated, because everybody kept going through the middle rope, through the bottom rope. And it got so bad that even Michael Cole kind of had problems with who was in and who wasn't.
Right. Which I had said that to Lady Akane too, that it's going to be difficult. They're actually going to have to kind of lift them up and throw them over, rather than like with men, they can just clothesline somebody over the rope or whatever, because they're going to have to actually propel themselves to get thrown over the top rope.
Yeah.
Philip Post said Tamina's forever buried. I agree 100% with you, and I don't understand why they would never do anything with her. It can't be. I don't know. Tamina, I like Tamina.
There's no reason why Tamina shouldn't be the dominant force on SmackDown.
I don't understand that.
Like Nia Jax is the dominant force kind of on Raw. Okay, there's no reason why she can't be the same on SmackDown. There should have been a really good confrontation of Nia Jax and Tamina staring each other down. The 2 dominant forces just clashing.
Right.
Like it was in the 2016 when it was like Goldberg and Brock, and then Goldberg eliminated Brock. And then when the Taker came in, that stare down between Taker and Goldberg.
Right.
Man. So, like we said, Asuka won, which I like. Everyone was like, so New Japan pretty much won this year. I can accept that.
Pretty much. I hear you. I hear you from Villa the Post. Yeah. The thing, of course, I even commented on from Pillar to Post podcast about this. The fact that they crapped all over Asuka's win with Ronda Rousey coming out at the end is just so disgraceful, terrible. I don't even.
Oh, she's got Rousey has actual heat from like Nia, Sasha. I think she has actual heat from women in backstage, because like Nia put a tweet. Sasha was being interviewed by Bully Ray on his podcast, and he kind of asked her about that. And her whole thing was, I have nothing really nice to say, so I'm not really going to say anything. Because I don't think a lot of the women were told, hey, this is what's going to happen, because everyone thought Rousey was just going to show up for number 30.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna be in the Rumble too.
You know,
A lot of people thought she was gonna win the Rumble, which that would
no,
have been even more of a slap in the face.
that would have been a major slap in the face. But it's already a slap in the face of crapping on Asuka. This is the first ever women's rumble. Like, at least wait till Asuka kind of decides who she picks, you know, then have Rousey comes out and pretty much challenge whoever she didn't pick, you know.
Pillar Post says, "Do you think that the heat is a work?"
No, I don't
It's
think the
real.
Heat's a well. I think they're actually pissed, which it would not surprise me because I don't think I don't think the women were told that Rousey was going to show up. Okay, because from what I've read from the dirt sheets, this was kept super secret from pretty much about everybody
Right.
that she was going to show up. You know, like people thought she was still shooting a movie. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of had to sneak her onto a private jet into it and pretty much stay in a hotel room for like over 24 hours, you know, without being seen by anybody, you know,
Yeah.
just to pull this.
And she was even one of the ones that participated in trying to throw everybody off the trail by
Yeah.
saying that she had a movie shoot and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, she had a movie shoot. TMZ Sports kind of picked her up. She's like, so far, no contracts have been signed, you know. So yeah, I do. I don't think this is a work. I think these women are legitimately pissed because it's like, you know, we don't mind the fact that she showed up, but it's the fact that you kind of fucked it up on ruining Asuka's moment. This is supposed to be the first ever women's Royal Rumble. You kind of screwed the pooch like you did with the first ever Money in the Bank match.
Yeah. Um, as far as Dave Meltzer goes, like I said earlier, Vince Vince tries to play us like we're stupid. Of course, all the fans knew that Ronda Rousey was showing up. As soon as we heard even the mumbles from it, to me, honestly, ever since WrestleMania the year she showed up and did the little segment with The Rock and the Authority, I already knew. I already knew they had their mind made up that this was the one
Oh,
person
dude,
that they wanted to
it
get.
was announced the day after WrestleMania with like in the dirt sheets that they were wanting to do something with her, but then everyone kind of it kind of just backed off until the Mae Young Classic where they had the MMA Four Horsemen versus the WWE Four Horsemen kind of stare down, and that just kind of lit the fire underneath WWE. Like this needs to happen. You know, we need to get her in here. You know.
Yeah. So, what do you see her doing going forward? Who's the WrestleMania match? Is she going to challenge Charlotte?
Well, there's two things. There's two bits of information that's been floating around that people think is going to happen. They think A, she's going to challenge Charlotte, or B, they're going to throw her in an angle where she challenges the Authority,
Hmm.
where it's her and a mystery male partner versus Stephanie and Triple H.
Gotcha.
So those are kind of the two bits of information that have kind of been floating around of what might happen Mania. Like she's definitely going to show up at Mania. Um, because I don't see Asuka challenging Charlotte. I see her challenging Alexa Bliss. The problem with that is you've already had that match. You know,
Yeah.
you've already had that match. You've already seen that Asuka's pretty much gonna win it.
So Alexa Bliss is supposed to be an Elimination Chamber match defending the title, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So who walks out champion?
Unless probably Bliss, unless they pull a fast one, unless they don't have any more confidence in her that they realize, unless they realize that they've already done the Alexa Bliss versus Asuka fight, because like they've started building up a heat rivalry with Asuka and Sasha Banks.
Pillar to Post says Nia versus Asuka at Mania.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening. It could happen just because Vince thinks that we're oblivious and that we all have short-term memories. But Nia and Asuka have clashed many times before with also, of course,
and
always
they still want to protect Nia as this kind of monster heel.
Yeah.
You know.
I
They
don't
don't
even
wanna
see how
ruin
you
that.
can do that though. This is my problem with how they book Nia. I don't see how you can continuously say that she's a monster heel, but yet she sits here and she taps out easily to Sasha Banks, or she gets beat easily by Bailey, or I don't even know. Like
Because
she can't
remember,
even.
because RJ, remember, Roman Reigns is the guy. Roman Reigns is the guy.
What's up, Aaron?
That's how you know Nia can tap out. Because as long as Reigns is the guy,
It's terrible.
nothing matters.
Nia needs some new ring gear. Her current gear makes her look fatter than what she is. Yeah, I've seen pics of her too, man, and she's not really big at all.
Ah, she's buff. That is muscle.
So I think it's just how WWE wants to portray her. And I was talking to Lady Kanye about this another day too. Is if she decided to like lose the rest of it and slim down to what she used to look like when she was a model, Vince and them would be irate and have a fit, and they probably would fire her because they
Yeah.
want her to look a certain way.
Why do you think her song is "I'm Not Like Most Girls"?
Yeah.
You know, that's her theme. Also, I love because I watch Wrestle Talk. I love the bit Ollie Davis has with Nia Jax about how they're supposedly best friends, but also like frenemies. And there was literally a sign someone took to Royal Rumble of it like "Shame on you, Nia Jax, for breaking Ollie Davis's heart." It's like, "Thank you, random sign guy."
Oh man. Well, that's the month of January. We're about to hit February actually starting tomorrow.
um,
So,
there's not really a lot going on in February. There's the Chamber.
mhm.
There's Ring of Honors. I'll try to watch that. I'll probably be lost as hell.
I don't even know if
But
it's gonna be
honestly,
broadcast. That's why I was saying it could be just a like a live event or something. They have a special name for it, but I don't even know if it's.
but you know, like the highlights and the matches will be up online. That's why I'm like, I'll try to watch it. I'll be lost as hell,
Yeah,
but I will try to watch it. Um, I don't think SmackDown has a pay per view this month. I think it's just Raw.
yeah, it's just Raw. SmackDown has Fastlane in March.
Yeah, because they're cutting it down of only doing one pay per view, I think, each month, which they should.
I'm just happy the fact that they actually made sure that they put this year the Money in the Bank will be a joint pay per view this year.
Yeah.
So, which
Um,
that was a bonehead maneuver last year. I don't know who signed off on that, but
but there also is the talks of because of SmackDown, they might breaking up Owens and Zayn. I don't know why you would fucking do that
mm-hmm.
because those two really kind of need to be together. You
What up,
know?
Khalil? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we podcasting today, man. We're almost actually done though. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Sammy and Kevin either. Um, as much as I love watching them fight each other, we've seen them fight too much.
Yeah. It's like they work best together. You know? Like one of their best things on the pre-show was them making fun of the SmackDown social media lounge.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Hell, they got the Yep movement across.
But honestly, there ain't too much for them to do left.
There's not. I'm tired of with the whole Shane McMahon storyline. I honestly am.
It's gonna culminate to what? What do you think at WrestleMania?
It's going to culminate with something with Daniel Bryan of him eventually becoming. Here's what kills me about this whole uh, Shane McMahon thing is they're trying. I don't know if they're purposely trying to make Brian more of the heelish manager and trying to make Shane McMahon the knight in shining armor because he's a fucking McMahon. So of course they will. The only problem with that is Shane's not the good guy. Right. Technically, outside of kayfabe, Kevin and Sammy are. Right. Okay? Everything they're griping about, it's a legitimate reason, which is why I fucking hate Byron Saxton. Oh, God.
Pillar to Post said next week with the Sammy and Kane.
That's a duo I would like to see.
The Sammy and Kevin Owens match, Finger Point of Doom.
I don't know. It might be like today with the Jericho and Owens thing, to where they're gonna tease that they're gonna break up, but I'm okay with that as long as they lead to the Canadian Festival of Friendship.
The Canadian Festival of Friendship.
The Festival of Friendship was the best segment. If you can make the Canadian version of it, yes. I'm telling you, man, it's leading towards the Canadian Festival of Friendship.
Well, on that note, we'll be bringing you this month in wrestling every month. Of course, leading all the way up to the end of the year, which we'll do our year in review again. If there's any like breaking news that we need to comment on or talk about, then we'll definitely have another little segment, podcast, or whatever to come up.
The only thing I can honestly think about breaking news is if WrestleMania is going to be its whole nother thing. WrestleMania is going to be a 3-hour stream of just, okay, and that was just NXT. Now let's get to the WrestleMania.
Right. Pillar to Post said, Canadian Festival of Friendship, and the whole thing is in French.
Yep. Yep. We need hashtag Canadian Festival of Friendship. I'm calling it. If they do that, I'm going to laugh my ass off. You heard it here first, folks. Canadian Festival of Friendship. If they even think about doing that, I'm filing for copyright.
Right.
I am suing for slander. I came up with Canadian Festival of Friendship.
Well, guys, appreciate you joining us for this podcast for the month of January.
One more thing.
Yes.
So, did you notice how Jericho didn't show up at the Rumble? So, do you think that whole Raw 25 thing was just kind of a one and done thing?
Yeah, most definitely. He's too focused on Fozzy right now, and then of course New Japan.
Okay. But do you think But I do like the fact that he showed up at Raw 25 because it shows that he is still in good graces with the company. My biggest fear was him going over to New Japan was he wasn't going to be in good graces with the company.
Well, there was multiple reports. Some were saying that Vince was furious. Some were saying that he talked to Vince before. So I don't know which is true. But obviously, if he can just show back up at Raw 25 for that little segment, then
still bring up the greatest. And still bring up the greatest thing ever in Raw with the list. I love the list.
Yeah, Jericho's fighting Naito.
Yeah.
We're actually trying to get to that show from Pillar to Post. Me and Lady Akane, the one in March that they're doing in Long Beach. And I'm definitely anxious to find out, unless they've already announced it, but I don't think they have, but Bullet Club's all-in little event that they're doing. I'm trying to find out where it's actually going to be.
They've already announced the G1 Climax in the USA tour. Like, they have announced Omega, Naito, Okada is going to be there. No Jericho, so that we know so far. There was somebody else. I think it was Ibushi.
Oh, it's sold out already? Oh, geez, I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, New Japan sells out real fast. Well, you know the Ring of Honor All In is going to pretty much sell out like hotcakes.
All In is going to sell out as soon as they announce the location and the tickets go on.
Yeah, so if you want to do that All In, you're going to have to buy your tickets like that night.
Oh yeah.
You know, because as soon as they pick a location, they're gonna sell out like hotcakes because they're trying to do a stadium of 10,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I like the fact that they're funding everything themselves. This isn't a New Japan product. It's actually like a Bullet Club product.
It's smart advertising.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much everything. February is Elimination Chamber, a little bit of Ring of Honor, and I think is about it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a takeover event.
What, in February?
Yeah.
Nah. Next takeover event would be WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah. So they have a long ass time to build feuds. Did you see that Ethan Carter III was there?
Yeah. Ethan Carter, War Machine, and Ricochet.
War Machine, Ricochet. That surprised, like War Machine and Ricochet and Candice De La Rey, I kind of understood. Ethan Carter III showing up surprised me. You know?
Yeah, I would figure you wouldn't want to go back to the same place that they cut you from in the first place. But he made a name for himself.
He made a name for himself. I think that's the reason why. And he's going to some things like NXT, where NXT is driven by fans, and it's fans who are like snarks, who know the independent scene, who know the ins and outs, who know kind of every little minute thing. It's not like the casuals who watch WWE. NXT is kind of in like the hardcore fans. So when someone likes Ethan Carter III shows up, who made a name for himself elsewhere, and if he does show up in NXT, he's going to get popped for huge.
We'll see what happens, man. I'm interested. I'm very interested, and I'm surprised that they actually let all four. I guess Candice LeRae is going to be in.
Yeah, they've already signed War Machine, De La Rey, and Ricochet.
So all four of them to actually come to NXT, that just means NXT is just going to continue to get better.
It also means people are moving up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Which
AOP is going to be on their way up there as War Machine, but we have to have an AOP versus War Machine match before they go.
It honestly might be like the whole Zayn versus Nakamura, to where you knew Zayn was kind of going out the door, and his first person was Nakamura.
Right.
You know, that probably might what it be. It might be Authors of Pain versus War Machine. Authors of Pain's going out the door. War Machine's coming in.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, who else do you think will be leaving?
I don't know. I heard Adam Cole is supposed to really get pushed this year.
Oh, they are going to push Adam Cole like wildfire.
Yeah.
You know, if they push Sanity, it's going to be all of them are going to have to move up.
Yeah.
Which would just be another faction. Honestly, what I would kind of want them to do is if they start pushing up stuff like Authors of Pain, Sanity, Undisputed Era, bring up the possibility in 2018 of a faction war. You know? Like, you have Balor Club, you have the New Day, you kind of already have these groups of three of like the Bar who are already kind of cliques. You have the pieces there that if you plan it right, you could do kind of a faction war.
Right.
You know?
Well,
kind of like the NWO, kind of like the Invasion storyline of like you have someone from NXT kind of invade the main roster, and then it's kind of, well, just pick a side. You know?
Yeah.
And that could kind of lead up into something like SummerSlam, or the Survivor Series, like 5-on-5 could, instead of being like Raw or SmackDown, be like an Invasion kind of storyline.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But they'd probably fumble the fucking ball. So
they probably will. All right. Well, like I said, we covered January, had a little bit of other tidbits in, but we will probably see you back. Like I said, unless something crazy happens during the month of February, we will see you at the end of February to recap everything that happened, all things wrestling. But Soul's link is in the description if you want to check out his channel. You have any final
I try
words?
to upload some stuff.
You have any final words?
Check out Jimmy D stream, Jimmy D31 stream tonight. We're going to be streaming some Fortnite, so any gamers, we're doing that. Support your local indie wrestlers. and play more games.
I'll definitely be jumping over there to watch Jimmy. What time is he starting?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay. Well, I'll be streaming at the same time. I'm actually going to jump right back on streaming at 7 o'clock. This new demo game I found on a new website called Game Jolt that I just found. It's supposed to be some type of horror game, but it's like cartoon-ish type deal thing. Just a demo, so I don't know how long it's going to last. The actual full game releases on Steam February 5th, I think.
Is it free?
Yes, it is free. So I will be checking that out. For those that want to hop right on over at 7 o'clock, same time, same channel. Check your boy out. But that's going to do it for this. Thank you for watching as always. Keep God first, and I will see you next time.